Hi, it's Bevel here over at Crafty and Chaos, and I'm here with part 2 of the Critter Card series, The Lovely Dog. As you can see, I'm using Do Crafts Paper Mania, Mr. Smith's workshop for the backing papers for this project. I've put 2 strips down the sides of a 7.5 by 7.5 inch card. Just checking the measurements there because I knew it wasn't quite an 8 by 8, even though I bought them as 8 by 8. And then I've got some distressed sort of brick paper backed onto a piece of black card for the matting layer, and I'm going to pop that down on some 3D pads onto the centre of my base card. So I'm going to carefully stick that into as central a position as I possibly can, and I'm doing this by eye, so I'm sorry if my head's just getting in the way a little bit there. Well, I see that I've got it lined up, pop it down and give it a press down. Then I'm going to put that off to the side to work on later. Next, it's time to assemble the lovely dog. So I'm starting to get the bits out. First, I'm showing you the greeting that I created, happy birthday, using the same papers, and cut a flag at the end, and that's going to be going on the base card at the end. So I'm going to start arranging the pieces of the lovely dog and sorting them out onto a piece of just plain white scrap paper to get an idea of where I want the pieces to be before I start sticking everything down. So I'm just arranging the pieces now. So I've got a rough idea now where I want the shapes, and I'm now looking for the tiny pieces that I need for the dog's eyes so I can see in a better perspective of where I want the muzzle to actually go. So I'm looking for the white pieces and the 2 little brown pieces and the tiny black dots are at the centre of the eyes. So I'm going to assemble the eyes. I'm just getting a separate piece of scrap paper just to do the gluing on. Just going to add a little bit of adhesive to that. Stick that to the white. And the other brown bit to the white. Difficult to see on this white paper, but I think you can just about make it out. Then I'm going to get the little tiny black bits that I'm using as a pupil and stick those into the middle. I'm using my Pinflair bookbinding glue for this because I can get a very tiny amount, and I'm just going to use my pickup tool just to dot down and put the little black pupils on to the dog's eyes, as you see. Then I'm going to position the eyes onto the dog to see how we're looking. So just under the muzzle, and that will give me a good idea of where to place the muzzle before I stick it down. So I think we're about right there. So now I'm going to stick the nose into position, see how that's looking, and now I'm going to stick those pieces down. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the snail adhesive at the top of the body to attach that to the head. I'm going to take a I'm going to put some double-sided adhesive onto the muzzle, but I will use some 3D foam to pop up the nose, just to make it have a little bit more dimension. You can still just slip those underneath. I've left enough room, and again I'm using the Pinflair bookbinding glue for that, for its slidability. So I can slide it into place and wiggle it around till I'm happy. Okay, there's my lovely one-eyed dog. And now put the other one in place. And again, I'm just going to slide it gently under the muzzle until it's in a position that I'm happy with. Next, I'm going to take one of the small scallop circles and apply this to the top of the dog's head with a tiny piece of popped up on a tiny piece of foam pad, just to add that little bit of dimension to the dog's face. So now I've got my 3D foam on there, I'm going to pop that onto there and add a second piece of 3D foam to the muzzle, the nose, and add that to the muzzle. Just putting 2 little squares on. I use my tweezers to get the backs off. It's very, very hot here today, and it is affecting all things that are sticky. They seem even stickier than usual. So it's a bit of a pain getting the backs off at the moment. But we've managed, and we're going to put that into position. Okay, so it's starting to take on the features now of the dog. I'm going to take my black Letter-Set fine liner pen to draw on the detail, a little straight line down from the nose with a V at the bottom and 3 little dots to infer whiskers coming out of the sides of the dog's cheeks. Okay, the next thing I'm going to start giving myself an idea of where the dog's back paws are going to go, so that I can position the front paws or the front legs of the dog. So I'm just getting those out, and then I'm going to get the second small scalloped circle, which is another patch of fur, which I'm going to place out towards the bottom of the dog, and then I'll just trim off the excess that's hanging over from behind using my Tim Holtz easy grip scissors. So I'm just going to carefully trim that round so it's flush with the bottom of the dog. Next, I'm going to take the front legs, put some double-sided foam tape on the backs to give them a little bit of dimension, and I'm going to position them as you see where I roughly got them as they are now. So I'm going to stick on the foam pads and then stick the front legs into position. So I'm just sticking the second leg into position now, and that's the front legs complete. Next, I'm going to be adding the front leg paws, and again I'm going to use a small piece of foam tape stuck onto the back again for that added dimension. Okay, I'm trying with the fingernails and it's just not working. These sticky pads are really, really sticky at the minute. The only way I'm managing to get them off is using my tweezers. I'm going to stick that one in position and then get the second one, another piece of the foam tape, and stick that in position. So next I'm going to take another one of the dots that are meant to be representing spots on the dog, and I'm going to stick that one to the left, and it's going to be hanging off a bit, but again I'm going to use my Timmy scissors just to trim off from behind. To be careful because a little bit of the glue's underneath has caught on the dog. So carefully trim off from the reverse. Okay, and then I will do the same thing with the second dot. So the final dot's just going on at the other side, sort of under the muzzle and onto the body, and again trim off from behind. Okay, so that's how we're looking now that the dots are, the dog spots or dots, whatever you want to call them, are in place. So now I'm seeing where the back paws are going to just tuck underneath the body slightly. I'm going to apply some double-sided adhesive to the front of the pad and stick it down from behind. Then I will do the same on the other side. Just a little bit. Oops, I think I've made an error there. Stuck it on the wrong side. So I'm going to have to take it off, realise that the stitching's on the other side, turn it over and redo it. So I need to add a little bit more glue, and this time we'll stick it with the stitching facing upwards. Okay, so that's how we're looking now. So next I'm going to stick the little pads onto the back paws, so the big pads towards the bottom, just tucked under a little bit, and the 3 small ones arranged at the top of each of the pads. So again, for this process I'm using the Pinflair bookbinding glue and my pickup tool to pick up the small pieces and position them on my dog, as you see. So that's the foot complete. The final step, we're going to create the dog's ears. So I'm going to take the 2 brown pieces, which is the outer ear, and the pink inner ear, which is going to be slightly offset towards the bottom so that the brown is showing at the top. And again, I'm just going to use my glue for this because then I can slide it into the position that I want. And do the same with the second one. And then I'm just going to position them behind the dog's head at a nice jaunty angle that I think looks right for the dog. I'm just using a little bit of the snail adhesive, putting it underneath till I get it in the right position, and then pressing the head down onto it. So that's the dog nearly finished. So and then I'm just going to use my white pen just to add some highlights to the eyes and the nose and the spot at the top of the dog's head. So to dry a second and adding a second layer to make it stand out. Just double dotting the eyes again so that that highlight really brings the dog's eyes to life. Okay, next I'm going to flip the dog over and I'm going to use my Zot's 3D adhesive to stick him down. Just position him where I think he's going to look nice on the card. Then I'm going to take the Zots, I'm going to strategically place them so that they are going to be holding on to the bits that are paper pieced together as well. But they will also pop the dog up a little bit. The Zots, I believe, are quite inexpensive and available quite easily and readily on Amazon. So anyone can pick them up. Okay, so I've got all my Zots on the back. Super sticky, they're going to do a brilliant job of sticking this dog well and truly down to the base card. So I'm patting him down gently. I'm going to apply a little bit of 3D tape to my greeting, and then I'm going to stick that in the top left corner. Just removing the tape and sticking the greeting happy birthday down. Okay, now I have cut some nice cogs to go on this card to keep it quite in with this masculine feel, fleet feel. These are my advanced cogs that I'm sticking down. These will become part of our embellishment series, so we will be making some more cogs that have a little bit more detail than the ones we did in the first video, so I'll have to watch out for those coming soon. So I'm just going to stick my cogs down. I've cut them out of mirror card to give them that sort of metallic look, but also to make them look shiny and add a bit of interest to the card. So much as I'd done the cat critter card, very much a girly feel to it, this is a very, very masculine feel to it, so suitable for boys, old and young, particularly if they're fond of dogs. I know my son would love it, my grandson would probably love it, and anybody that likes dogs. So that's it close up, so I think he's come out super cute. If you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up, look down in the link to my blog to download the file. And if you have enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.